This is ACIM Lesson 98. I will accept my part in God's plan for salvation. Welcome, everyone, to this explainer. I am absolutely thrilled to have you here today, because what we're going to do is take this profoundly deep spiritual philosophy and decode it into practical, everyday steps. You know, if you've ever felt completely overwhelmed by dense spiritual texts, or just wondered, how on earth do I actually apply this when I'm super busy? Well, you are in exactly the right place. We are going to break down the actual mechanics of finding true peace of mind today, step by step.
Okay, let's dive into this. The text designates today as a day of special dedication. It's asking us to take a firm, unwavering stand. Think about it. Instead of just drifting through the day, reacting to whatever random stuff happens, we're being asked to consciously decide that we will accept our designated part in this larger plan. We aren't supposed to argue about what the plan should be, and we definitely aren't looking for it in places it just doesn't exist. We're simply taking a stand on one side today and doing it with gladness.
And this brilliantly illustrates the clear choice the text is asking us to make. We're faced with a stark, undeniable contrast here. On one side, we've got our goal, right? Truth, absolute certainty, and siding with the one. But on the other side, we have exactly what we're being asked to completely let go of: illusions, endless doubts, and vacillation. The text makes it crystal clear we cannot just bounce back and forth between these two. To gain that real certainty and peace, we literally have to make a definitive, committed choice to abandon the exhausting doubts that hold us back.
Now let's take a quick second to decode some of this esoteric language so we can actually use it in our real lives. When the text uses the word salvation, it isn't talking about some abstract, distant theological concept. In our framework today, salvation means achieving your ultimate peace of mind. It's a deep, quiet certainty and the realization of your unique special purpose. It's all about recognizing your true function right here, right now, and operating from a place of complete, unshakable safety. Continuing with our definitions, the text notes that those who are guiltless are safe, and they know they're safe, so they do not appeal to magic. Now, actually, scratch any ideas of pulling a rabbit out of a hat here. In this context, magic simply refers to our futile, everyday attempts to control the uncontrollable aspects of the world around us. It's when we invent these complex escapes from fancied threats that don't even have any reality to them. When you accept your part in the plan, you drop the magic. You just stop trying to manipulate circumstances out of fear, and instead, you rest in the quiet certainty of what you're meant to do. So, the crucial point is how this mindset shift completely alters our relationship with our own past. The source tells us that not one single mistake stands in our way because we're absolved from errors. Imagine the massive emotional relief you experience the very moment you recognize that your so-called sins were really nothing more than mere mistakes. By just reframing those heavy burdens as simple errors, they are instantly washed away. It leaves the path entirely clear for us to fulfill our mighty purpose. What I absolutely love about this next concept is that it takes our focus and expands it from just the individual to the whole collective. We are not making this choice in a vacuum. Taking this stand creates a massive network of shared peace. First off, those who have already made this choice offer us everything they've gained. Second, when we find our certainty, the people around us who are still uncertain can literally join in and borrow our strength to make it stronger. And finally, this ripples out so powerfully that even those yet unborn will eventually hear the call and answer it. Your personal dedication today has an immense cascading impact. So, how do we actually execute this monumental shift? Well, we're going to transition right now from the philosophical to the highly practical. The text introduces what I like to call the 5-minute bargain. This is the specific actionable request the lesson makes of us today. It's asking us to consider a trade-off, a highly favorable exchange of our time in return for something totally immeasurable. Now, what's really interesting about this slide is the sheer scale of the request. Just 5 minutes out of every hour. The text brilliantly points out that throughout our lives, we've made 1,000 losing bargains at the absolute least. We exchange our time and energy for stress, anxiety, things that just do not matter, right? But here, we're being asked for a remarkably tiny fraction of our hour. When you visualize just how small 5 minutes really is, the accessibility of this practice becomes incredibly clear. Let's actually weigh this bargain out. On one hand, you offer a tiny gift, just 5 minutes an hour. On the other hand, you get a guaranteed return on your investment, full release from pain, deep peace of mind, absolute certainty of your purpose, and the promise of complete success. The source text explicitly states that since time has no real meaning, you are essentially being asked for nothing in return for everything. I mean, come on, it's a bargain you simply cannot lose, and the gains are absolutely limitless.
Let's move to and see how this builds into an actual structured routine for your day. Because, it's one thing to understand the bargain conceptually, but the text gives us precise, actionable mechanics on exactly how to practice this idea, so it truly takes root in our minds. Okay, here is your 4-step blueprint straight from the source material. Step 1, dedicate those 5 minutes at the top of each hour. Step 2, use the words of dedication, repeating to yourself that you will accept your part in the plan. Step 3, throughout the rest of the hour, keep your mind in a state of happy preparation. Just repeat the idea often while you wait for the next hour to arrive. And finally, Step 4, when the hour ends, thankfully lay down your earthly tasks, clear away all those little limited ideas, and spend that happy time dedicating yourself once more. It's this beautiful, rhythmic, grounding cycle. Now, if you are sitting there wondering if you even have the focus or the faith to do this perfectly, the text offers this incredible reassurance. Give him the words and he will do the rest. You don't have to generate all this deep conviction on your own. You just have to offer the tiny gift of your time in your words. The promise here is that your words will be accepted and given back to you bright with faith, strong confidence, and a joyful understanding of your special function. Your willingness is literally the only key required.
Which brings us to our final thought for this explainer. We've laid out the philosophy, the massive benefits, and the exact step-by-step mechanics of the 5-minute bargain. Now, the choice rests entirely with you. Knowing the limitless joy and certainty that is promised, will you exchange just a little of your time for absolute peace of mind today? It's such a small request for a measureless reward. Thank you so much for learning with me today. Keep that question in mind as you move forward into your next hour.